importance, right? So as a community, as for Pocahontas County, what is your best selling point on why it needs to stay? For instance, like what's the economic cost to the county if it closes, or if part of it closes? And you see what I'm saying? I'm not
absolutely. No, I think the benefit, the local benefit is different than the national astronomy benefit. Absolutely. Right. And the local benefit is education. And education means everything from the kindergartners all the way through the training that we give, all the way up to colleges. And it's economics. And the total cost, the total budget that's given to us annually, which is then directly spread to this county, because we're talking the salaries, 95% of what we have here is salaries, is about $8.5 million. So that's without even thinking about trickle-down effects. That's without thinking about the 50,000 visitors that come here. There's $8.5 million direct into the county. And after that, I will turn it to Mike, who knows those numbers far better than I do, for the rest of this. But the trickle-down account, the tourists and everything, it's huge. And I believe when you add in all of the, I'm going to try to do, I'm going to say the wrong words here.
The visitor impact, which Kara is going to be quite well aware of because it's tourism.
Right.
There is a tourism component to what the observatory does. Based upon the numbers that the state uses for all tourism industries, the tourism business here at the observatory brings in the neighborhood of about $12 million. Yeah. I did a brochure for this. And I'm sorry, $7.5 million just in tourism. But then Karen hit on the biggest point, is the salaries of the people who spend their money. There is always a percentage of that money that goes to the local economy, local and state economy. And that's to buy gas, to buy groceries, to buy clothes, all the things it takes to live. And as a final figure, without going into those details, the observatory provides about $22.5 million to the county and the state annually.
There's another issue too. There's an image awareness issue that the presence of this facility has, not just on the county, but on the region and on the state. I mean, it's a significant activity, one that gets a lot of notice, not just here, but all over the country and all over the world. So having you here, that image, it helps us. Okay. It's a good thing.
And I think that's exactly, just to pick on single things, that's exactly why WU, for example, would not like to see this place go away, because it draws, when you draw in astronomers, it draws in great astronomers from around the world, but that also trickles out. You get great physicists, you get engineers that want to come over it. So it helps the college system. And we've been reaching out more to some of the smaller colleges in the state too, and trying to tighten those connections to get them more heavily involved in what we do. Because West Virginia has a lot of small colleges as well. And that's where it's direct as well as the indirect. I mean, what was it, 1972, we were on they put us on the state plate thing that they have every year. And there's a reason for that. I mean, my 8th grade textbook had the 300 foot in it. And I remember pointing at that, it was the 300 foot, and then this talk of some new thing called the PRT, which was going to come anytime soon to Morgantown and transform the world, and I'll be riding on cars. So that's in my West Virginia textbook. When I was a kid, it's everywhere. It's fantastic.
Colleges like New River Community Technical College have been in discussions with us to teach courses for them. Everything from engineering, blueprint reading to machining. The RCBI, the Robert C. Byrd Institute, which is well known for its high accuracy machining programs and welding programs, is in discussions with us to utilize our employees now, that's what I'm talking about, our machinists and employees to teach classes for them because of the extreme accuracy and quality of work for the things that we build, which isn't built in very few places around the globe.
to think of funding on my books. Has a partnership with the Department of Defense even a thought?
In the past, because of our funding through the National Science Foundation, and through that funding, our need to remain, we're not just an open skies facility, we're an open source facility. That means anything we build here, anything we design here, anything we do here, pretty much, we just hand out. That's our job. I mean, it sounds crazy, but that's our job. Otherwise, how do you educate people if you don't just hand it all out? Because of that, work with the Department of Defense for the majority of what they wanted to do very much contradicted our existence. And so although we had numerous discussions, we would run into ideological issues right away. And that was okay. We were fully funded. If we're not fully funded anymore, some of those issues may turn out to not be as big of a concern as they were in the past. And in particular, if the National Science Foundation chooses not to fund us fully, then of course, in your decision not to fully fund, you have to also let go of some of the controls of how things are done. And so the door is opening, but it's going to be a slow discussion in my past experience with the DoD. And nonetheless, we're very interested. And there's a lot of things the DoD do, which aren't super classified or anything. There's a lot of spacecraft tracking to understand instrumentation. Issues like that in the past we've been reluctant to get involved with because of the complication and because such work pulls us away from what was our primary mission, which is the GVT. We're currently working on a contract with another agency, actually with the Russian space agencies, to actually be at a downlink station for one of their astronomy satellites. This is not defense, unfortunately. So it's an astronomy satellite. It goes up in the sky, and when it dumps its data, it has to have some receiving station, just like NASA has receiving stations around the world. It can only see Russia about 50% of the time, or 60% of the time, and so it needed someplace else to go, and they're coming to us. Now these deals, when they're international, are very complicated. Many of our staff can tell you about the long discussions with the State Department and things, but they're clear. I can talk about this one. So it's all wonderful. So we can do that. Working with the Department of Defense would be within the United States, and it would be preferable in many respects to that. It's just that we had never opened that door very wide before, and now we're starting to look at it. And we'll begin the discussions right now. We're sent a few feelers up the path to see if anybody's interested. And again, they might be more interested not in the GVT, but frankly in the other site telescopes, because the GVT has a level of sensitivity that is actually well beyond what you typically need when you're doing satellite tracking and things like that.
And to step back to Julie's question just a minute, we are depending upon the time of year, we are the 4th or the 5th largest employer in the county. We follow the Board of Education, county government, Interstate Lumber, and then Snowshoe or us. We swap depending upon the time.
What's your acceptance rate for proposals?
It's